He sketched flying machines centuries before the airplane. He studied the human body long before modern anatomy. He painted two of the most famous works of art in history. His name is Leonardo da Vinci, the ultimate Renaissance genius. Today, we're diving deep into the life, the art, and the brilliant mind of Leonardo da Vinci, a man whose curiosity and imagination changed the world forever. Leonardo da Vinci was born on April 15, 1452, in the small town of Vinci in Tuscany, Italy. His full name was Leonardo di Ser Piero da Vinci, which simply means Leonardo, the son of Piero, from Vinci. He was born out of wedlock to Ser Piero, a respected notary, and a peasant woman named Caterina. Though he was not born into wealth, his father recognized him and helped provide a good home. As a boy, Leonardo spent much of his time outdoors, observing animals, studying plants, watching how water flowed and how light touched the landscape. Nature was his first teacher, and curiosity was his greatest gift. He received little formal education, just basic reading, writing, and arithmetic, but his intelligence and artistic talent quickly stood out. At around the age of 14, Leonardo moved to Florence and began an apprenticeship with Andrea del Verrocchio, one of the leading artists of the time. In Verrocchio's workshop, he learned painting, sculpture, mechanics, metalwork, and drafting, the perfect foundation for a man whose mind would explore everything. By his early 20s, Leonardo was already recognized as a master painter. Legend has it that while working in Verrocchio's studio, he painted an angel in the baptism of Christ so beautifully that Verrocchio decided never to paint again. Whether or not that story is true, it shows how quickly Leonardo's genius became undeniable. In 1482, Leonardo left Florence for Milan. There, he offered his services to the Duke of Milan, not just as an artist, but as a military engineer, architect, sculptor, and inventor. In his letter to the Duke, he described weapons he could design, bridges he could build, and machines he could create. Only at the end did he mention that he could also paint. In Milan, Leonardo created some of his greatest works. One was the Virgin of the Rocks, a masterpiece of composition, light, and emotion. Another, even more legendary, was the Last Supper. Painted on the wall of a monastery dining hall, it captured the moment when Jesus tells his disciples that one of them will betray him. Every figure shows a different reaction: shock, disbelief, anger, sadness. It was revolutionary, both in its realism and its emotional depth. Leonardo's art was always about capturing life, not just how things looked, but how they felt. He studied faces, gestures, light, and perspective to reveal the soul behind the image. When Leonardo returned to Florence around 1000, he began another project, the painting we now call the Mona Lisa. It took him years to finish, and some believe he never truly stopped working on it. Her smile, mysterious and alive, is one of the most studied expressions in the world. Her eyes seem to follow you, her lips seem to move. He achieved this through a technique called sfumato, the soft blending of light and shadow, creating a lifelike transition between tones. But painting was only one part of his genius. He saw no boundary between art and science. He believed that to paint the human body, one must understand how muscles work. To draw a bird, one must understand how it flies. So he studied everything: anatomy, engineering, botany, geology, architecture, astronomy, and flight. His notebooks reveal the mind of a man centuries ahead of his time. Filled with thousands of sketches and mirror-written notes, they include designs for flying machines, helicopters, bridges, submarines, and even robots. He drew maps, studied water flow, and designed complex gears and pulleys. He tried to understand the movement of the heart and the structure of the brain. In his anatomical drawings, Leonardo dissected human bodies to study their inner workings. He documented muscles, bones, veins, and organs with astonishing precision. His notes show discoveries that wouldn't be confirmed until hundreds of years later. Yet he never published his findings. They remained hidden in his notebooks for centuries. Leonardo also studied the mechanics of flight. He drew wings modeled after bats, parachutes, gliders, and helicopters powered by rotating screws. Though none of his flying machines ever left the ground, they laid the foundation for modern aeronautical engineering. His curiosity knew limits. He wrote about the movement of rivers, the shape of clouds, the reflection of light, the growth of plants, and the construction of cities. He believed that understanding nature was the key to understanding everything. Leonardo's way of thinking was unique. He never separated science and art. For him, they were one. Observation led to understanding, and understanding led to beauty. He once wrote, "The painter who draws merely by practice and by eye, without any reason, is like a mirror which copies everything placed before it without being conscious of their existence." He saw painting as a science of vision, not just a craft. But Leonardo's perfectionism came at a cost. He started many projects but finished few. He would often abandon commissions to pursue a new idea that captured his attention. To him, discovery was more exciting than completion. Still, his unfinished works and notebooks reveal a mind always searching, always asking why and how. In his later years, Leonardo accepted an invitation from King Francis I of France. He moved to the Château du Clos-Lucé, near the royal palace, where he spent his final years surrounded by students and admirers. Even as his health declined, he continued to draw, teach, and design. On May 2, 1519, Leonardo da Vinci passed away at the age of 67. It is said that the king was by his side, holding his hand. He was buried near the church of Saint Florentin in Embossé, France. Though his life ended, his ideas lived on. His notebooks were scattered across Europe, but their rediscovery centuries later revealed just how advanced his thinking was. Leonardo da Vinci's legacy is beyond measure. In art, his influence can be seen in every painter who sought to capture light and emotion. In science and engineering, he anticipated inventions that would come centuries later. In philosophy, he embodied the Renaissance ideal, that human curiosity and intellect could unlock the mysteries of the world. He is the model of the Renaissance man, a person who seeks knowledge in all things. His work reminds us that creativity and curiosity are inseparable. Today, the Mona Lisa attracts millions of visitors each year. The Last Supper remains one of the most recognized images in history. His notebooks inspire artists, scientists, and inventors alike. Leonardo taught us that art and science are not opposites. They are partners. Leonardo once wrote, "Learning never exhausts the mind." That single sentence sums up his entire philosophy. He was never satisfied with what he knew. He always wanted to know more. He saw the world not as it was, but as it could be. Leonardo da Vinci showed humanity that imagination, observation, and knowledge could work together to create beauty and progress. He turned curiosity into art and art into discovery. More than 500 years later, his works still speak to us, reminding us that the boundaries of human potential are limited only by our willingness to explore. So, as we reflect on his genius, remember this: Leonardo da Vinci was not just a painter or an inventor. He was a dreamer, a man who saw connections where others saw divisions. He believed that everything in nature was connected and that truth could be found in the harmony between science and art. Leonardo da Vinci, the man who sketched the future.